My people, hey, beautiful people. Today's word is about accountability partners. Do you have one? Do you let them do their job? Because here's the thing, we say we're going to do stuff, especially because the new year just passed, right? And so everybody set all these goals and, I'm going to do this X number of times a week now. And I'm going to make sure I make time for myself, and I'm going to make sure I go to the gym, and I'm going to make sure I start eating right, and I'm going to make sure I try new things, and I'm doing X, all these things that we set up for ourselves. And we are human, right? We have human nature, which means that we may have great intentions to do all of this stuff, but then not actually follow through with it. So here's where accountability partners coming in. Somebody to check in on you every week, every month, every day, to say, hey, you know that thing you said you was gonna do? You still doing it? Because you said you had this grand plan about how awesome it's going to be to incorporate this thing into your life or take this thing out of your life. And I just want to make sure you're reaching your goals. That's what accountability partner is supposed to do, right? To hold you accountable. So do you have one, right? Do you have somebody that you've appointed to say, you know what? I need you to check in on me. Because I know I said I was going to go to the gym. I haven't went not once. I need somebody hitting my line on my phone, texting me, calling me, writing me on all my social media platforms that they know I'm sitting on, instead of being at the gym and saying, hey, knock, knock, did you go? Did you actually do the thing that you said you were going to do? And then secondly, do you let them do their job? You can have an accountability partner all day, but if every time they call you on your mess, they call you on your excuses and your BS and everything that you can potentially come up with as a reason to not do the thing that you said you was going to do, when they call you on it, do you take it for what it's worth? Do you actually say, you right? Right? Because that's what it's supposed to be. Because at the end of the day, if we're stuck with our own thoughts and our own expectations, or not even expectations, like trying to hold ourselves accountable, sometimes, we let other thoughts weave their way in and say, hey, well, you are tired. It was a long day. You'll go tomorrow. The point is to have that other person and to allow them to do their job, to push you. But if every time they hit you up and say, hey, you said you were going to go to the gym, this is just one example, yet you haven't went at all, when you gonna go? You said you were gonna start taking a day for yourself, yet it's been a month and you still refuse to do anything for you. You said you were gonna start cutting back on your spending, yet you tell me about a new package that you get every week, right? If you're going to appoint people, you got to let them do their job. Just like as educators, we have a job to do. We've been appointed. So it's only right to say that we're allowed to do our job, whatever your actual job is, your actual career, the field that you're in. If somebody says, here's your title, but then doesn't let you do your job, you would be sitting back like, so why am I clocking in every day? Why'd you give me the title if I can't do what the title entails for me to do? So if you have things that you've set for yourself and you're potentially struggling and you're trying to figure out, how do I keep pushing forward? Think about who's your accountability partner. And when you get one, when you set that up, when you set the expectations for what that's going to look like, do you actually allow them to do their job? And part of them doing their job is not necessarily making you feel bad, because at the end of the day, you should feel a little guilt. You should feel some guilt when they call you on it, right? Not shame, but guilt. You should feel guilty about not doing the things that you said you were going to do. But their job is to pull up and say, man, you're on BS. You're lying. You're doing this. Like, you're putting other people first. You're being selfish, or you're not being selfish enough. Like, that's their job, to be as honest with you as possible before it gets to like a brutal kind of rude space. But they need that leeway. So you got to have somebody that you trust their word and you trust their ability to be very candid with you, and allow them to do so. Allow them to pull up and be like, well, You said you were going to do it and you're not. So it sounds like you really don't want to get buff. You don't. You can't possibly want to because your words don't match your actions. You keep saying that you want to do this, and then when I call you and ask you if you did it, you say that you haven't. You don't really want it. With that being said, if there are goals that you set for yourself for the new year, even though I hate New Year goals now, I've realized that's the thing for me. I cannot stand them. I get it, but I find many, many flaws with them, and I'll talk about it another time. If you set goals for yourself for this year or from last year or just today, find somebody to hold you accountable and let them do that. I'm working on it, kind of. All right, so maybe I need an accountability, maybe I need multiple accountability partners. It's a thing. It's possible. You need more than one person because they have different perspectives or, different ways of doing things or saying things. Maybe you need to find a couple accountability partners, but think about how you can put or position this person in your life to help you reach your goals. At the end of the day, we can't do it on our own. And support is support is support is support. We all need it. So set it up and let the person do what you put them in place to do. Accountability partners.